Welcome to DASGeek. Man, if you're still on the fence about some of these weird laws that have been passing, not only in the UK, but Texas and other states, where they're requiring your ID in order to access certain sites. And of course, it's all under the guise of protecting the children. But all of us in the privacy world that have been around for a while know that the true reason is so they can track you better, because the governments have done a really cool thing where they able to skirt the entire law of being able and having to go get a subpoena, for instance, to get your information. And they realize that they can just buy the information from all these data brokers and be able to get whatever they want on you. And this especially becomes an issue anytime, you become a deviant of the law, no matter what your political beliefs. And I don't care. I don't want to hear them. At some point, depending on what's going on in the government, you may be considered a deviant of the law. One year or every 4 years in the US, it's one president, and in the next 4 years, it may be a different president. And one of those, you could be a deviant of the law, or you could be out there rioting or wanting to protest or whatever. And now your information is available for everyone. Not only do we have cameras everywhere now, but you've got this phone. And if you don't do the proper protections, it's tracking and locating and saving all of your information. And you got shopper cards and you've got online accounts, and all this information is being collected. They know you better than your own mother knows you. And then the government can go, hey, I want to kind of find out some damaging information on this. And nobody's perfect. When you look at some of the laws out there, anybody could basically be flagged as breaking a law. So they'll just find something on you, and eventually they will. And now they don't even have to have a subpoena to do that. They can just buy it from data brokers. So the reason why I start with that is because it's really important when we start discussing what just happened with Discord. And also I want to touch a little bit about what's happened recently with Red Hat hack, because they both kind of have something in common here. So starting with the Discord hack, if you haven't heard, apparently Discord has a huge breach with personal data. Now you may be thinking one of the reasons we built our community in Discord is I don't care. I don't really keep anything in Discord. I assume everything I post there is public, and maybe I just go there and talk about Linux or the DASGeek channel or whatever. So I don't really care what they have. But apparently what's happened is the folks in the UK who've had to upload their IDs due to the UK's new privacy law in order to access forums and things on there. And this law goes so deep that you even have to upload an ID to listen to Spotify, for instance, for any music that, has any explicit lyrics in it. So the nanny laws are just unbelievable out there. And of course, we're going to have a much safer internet because nobody's going to get a VPN or circumvent this or anything, right? So anyways, they do this stuff. And now you have to upload your ID. And Discord apparently utilized a third-party program for their customer support as well. So if you needed to recover your ID or something like that, they may have asked you, hey, take a picture of your driver's license, your ID, send it to us. We can verify who you are and get you through. So there's two groups of people, your UK people, and then your people who have had customer service that are allegedly a part of this data breach. And it also includes things like IP addresses, some limited payment information, supposedly, maybe just the last 4 digits of your credit card, messages that you had between you and tech support, and your physical address, if you have that kind of information there, which again, if you're subject to these UK privacy laws, you'd have to upload that in order to access Discord in its full ability. And I think what some sites have done is they basically have said, hey, we don't want the responsibility to know whether the material that they're looking at is offensive, because it's not just adult content. It could be offensive content that also needs to be blocked from users. So we're just going to deploy that, hey, if you want to access and you're in this area, then we need your license to prove you're 18 or older. So there's so many flaws to this philosophy. We've talked about it on Destination Linux. But a couple of things I want to talk about. So supposedly, allegedly, because all the information is still coming out and there's new information that will come out after this video that will clarify things. But what we know right now is that Discord was using some type of third-party platform in order to handle these IDs and their customer support. And that third party is what was breached. Now, I mentioned Red Hat earlier. Red Hat's a part of a breach where a lot of their customer data apparently was breached on GitLab. And so what happened there is, again, they're, for the companies that they consult with, from what we understand right now, they will upload information about the clients, their network setup, a lot of very, very valuable information, especially to a hacker to get across, into GitLab as they're working on these things. So another third party. So why I keep emphasizing this is none of these companies, no company, period, is really responsible with our data. And this is why having these broad laws and these requirements where companies are collecting data, and everything from Equifax to all your big corporations, they've all had these massive breaches. And we're supposed to not have any laws that protect to say, hey, once you have this data for X amount of time, it has to be deleted, or I don't want these companies to have this. We have no rights, especially in the US, next to zero rights. And so these companies were required to give this information to them, or they're able to just take the information because we don't have privacy laws, or you have an Android device and the whole thing is just built around marketing and taking all your data. So we don't have those protections. And then these companies don't have any real responsibility to protect your data either. And then on top of that, even if the company you trust to protect your data utilizes a third party, if that third party doesn't have the same rules and lockdown and segmentation and protection, then your data is compromised again. Because in both cases, from what we know right now, it's really a third party that was breached here. So inside Red Hat, we know this is a very privacy conscious company. The breach didn't happen. But with the third party where they were using GitLab, that's where apparently the breach took place. Now, it could have been credentials, phishing credentials, probably something along those lines. In the Red Hat case, in the Discord case, we don't know enough yet about what it was, but could have been the same thing. Phishing is a very, very effective way of giving people to inside the company to give up their IDs, which is why you need zero trust models and things like Sandfly for deviation detection and all that. But in any case, this is why when people say it doesn't matter, I have nothing to hide, that you do, because now they have your ID, they have your address, credit card information. They can do all kinds of things with that data. And they can also see apparently some messages and things. And so you can start building this profile. I might be able to use your social security number. I might be able to use credit card numbers. I might be able to do phishing attempts on you that are very, very effective because I have so much information on you. So this is why it's so critical that you not only look at what the company's privacy policy is in relation to their own standards, but do they give their data or work with third parties with your data, and why that can be such a devastating thing as well. All right, so enough preaching about that. What can you do about it? Well, regardless, I think it's important to go change your Discord passwords just in case this breach is bigger than we know right now. Number two, you should always enable two-factor authentication. So if they get your username and password, they still have to use two-factor authentication to get in. Three, if you're one of those people who had to upload your ID, understand that your credentials are now going to probably be used against you. And it may not happen immediately. Like they're going to go, there's probably thousands, tens of thousands of people. So it may be months later. It may be a year later, maybe 2 years later that somebody comes across this data and attempts to use it for a phishing attempt. So be very leery of emails, links, people reaching out to you on Discord that you don't know, those type of things, attempting to do some social engineering out there. Make sure you secure your email account as well. Change your passwords on a regular basis. Suggest having a password manager or something like Bitwarden out there, but do not have your two-factor authentication. Bitwarden has a TOTP in there for two-factor authentication and your passwords all in one place. I love Bitwarden. I trust it. It's a great password manager. There are other great password managers out there as well, but your two-factor authentication should be done through another app, Authy, whatever you want to use, but something else so that if Bitwarden got breached, then they just have your passwords. They wouldn't have the two-factor authentication as well to get in. You do not want to create a single location where all of your data can be compromised. And then you may want to look at something along the lines of having some, especially if you've sent your driver's license and other things, some type of protection for your social security number, lockdown in your credit, that type of thing. There's lots of services out there that do that. And either way, what we're learning is the governments can't get along around the world. They're in this 5x5 sandbox and they're all fighting over the one shovel in there. And so they're all attacking each other. Their hacker groups are going ham on each other. There are new righteous hacks going out there. So you really need to be on your best watch and be very careful with clicking anything. Don't click any links. That's number one. Number two, password manager. 3, always have some type of 2-factor authentication. 4, make sure you're not downloading erroneous programs, apps, or extensions in your browser. And these are just some of the things that can keep you safe there. It really stinks that this happened to Discord because it's a really cool place to create a community and hang out. But it also shows you that nothing you do on the internet is truly private. So, people's messages and things have been scraped from Discord in the past. I would not utilize this type of service if you're having private conversations and things. Utilize something like Session or Signal. Those are much better applications for handling more private conversations. But I want to know your thoughts on this. What do we do with this information? Do we need to move our community from Discord? I don't know. This is very frustrating. The UK laws especially are very frustrating because we have lots of listeners to our podcast, for instance, that are in the UK and across the world. And I hate the idea that to access our community now you have to upload your ID, even though our community doesn't have anything explicit in it. I wouldn't think you would need an ID, but who knows? Because the law is so broad that it's not just adult content, it's anything that they consider offensive. And well, people get offended by dang well everything nowadays. So where does that law end? I don't get what we're doing, but I know the power is with the people, and the people have to start caring about their privacy. So the more you can get out there and talk about the importance of privacy and convince people that this stuff matters, the more we can start taking back control. That's what I think anyways. Let me know what you think in the comments. Until next time, get out there and fill your brains.